Part 8, The Second Flight, Chapter 2, Zero, An Unexpected Tailwind. The victory over the Comet Diner settled into a comfortable new status quo. The threat across the street had ironically made Mel's stronger. The regulars returned with a renewed sense of loyalty, and a trickle of curious newcomers intrigued by the diner that had dared to be old-fashioned became regulars themselves. Life fell into a rhythm that was for Mel's Diner almost peaceful. It was a quiet Tuesday morning when the bell over the door jingled and a ghost from Alice's past walked in. It was Zach Stratton. He looked different. The easy, confident swagger was still there, but it was tempered by something else, a weariness around the eyes, a slight hesitation in his step. The sun-streaked hair was a little longer the tan, a little faded. He wasn't the conquering hero of the skies, she remembered. He slid into a booth, his eyes scanning the room until they found hers. He offered a small, tentative smile. "Hello, Alice." "Zach," she said, her voice even. She walked over with a coffee pot, the familiar gesture, a shield against a sudden, unexpected flurry of emotions. "Long time no see. Coffee, please," he said, "and I'll have whatever you recommend that won't get me launched into the stratosphere." She couldn't help but smile. The muffins are still a bit of a gamble, but the eggs are relatively stable. He laughed, a quiet, rusty sound. "I'll take my chances with the eggs." As she took his order, she noticed the way he looked at the diner, not with the amused condescension of their first meeting, but with a kind of quiet appreciation. So she said, setting his coffee down, "What brings you back to this corner of the world?" He sighed, stirring his coffee. "Let's just say my high-flying business venture experienced a rather rapid, unscheduled descent. The big sponsorship deal he'd been chasing had fallen through. The $1,000 prizes and television coverage had evaporated, leaving him with a very expensive balloon and a lot of debt. The swaggering daredevil had been humbled. "I'm sorry to hear that," she said, and was surprised to find that she meant it. "Don't be," he said, looking up at her, his blue eyes clear and direct. "It was a learning experience. It turns out hot air can only get you so far." He paused. "Which is why I'm here. I'm starting over, smaller, just a simple hot air balloon tour company. No races, no sponsors, just showing people the beauty of the desert from above." "That sounds nice," Alice said. "It is," he agreed. "But I've learned I can't do it all myself. I'm a good pilot, but I'm a lousy businessman. I need help. I need someone organized, someone who's good with people, someone who's not afraid to tell me when I'm being a pompous jerk." His eyes held hers. "I need a business manager. I was hoping that someone might be you." Chapter 21, Turbulence Ahead. Alice stared at him, the clatter of the diner fading into a dull roar in her ears. A business manager? The offer was so far out of left field it had come from a different ballpark entirely. "Me," she finally managed to say. "You," he confirmed. "I saw how you handled that runaway balloon. You were terrified, but you were in control. You listened, you took charge. That's the kind of person I need." Her mind reeled. For years, her life had been a carefully constructed routine of work, home, and Tommy. The diner was her safe harbor, the predictable tides of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a source of stability. The idea of leaving it, of launching herself into a new, uncertain venture, was terrifying. And then there was the Zach factor. Working with him side by side every day. Could she trust him? Had he really changed? Or was this just a new, more subtle version of his old game? "I'll pay you double what Mel pays you," he said, seeing the hesitation in her eyes. "Regular hours, weekends off. You'd be helping to build something from the ground up." Double her salary. Regular hours. The words echoed in her head, a siren song of financial stability and a life beyond sticky tabletops. It was everything she had ever wanted, a tangible path to a better future for her and Tommy. She spent the next few days in a state of quiet turmoil. The diner, which had once felt like a comfortable second skin, now felt confining. Every time Mel yelled, every time a customer complained about the coffee, she found herself thinking of Zach's offer. She finally told the others, during a slow afternoon lull. "He offered you a job," Jolene squealed, her eyes wide. "As in the cute-as-a-button balloon guy." "That's wonderful," Alice Vera said, clapping her hands together. "You'd be like a real businesswoman." Mel's reaction was predictably less enthusiastic. A business manager, he scoffed, his face darkening. For what, a bag of hot air? You can't leave. Who's going to keep this place from falling apart? It was the closest he would ever come to admitting how much he relied on her. It's not about the diner, Mel Alice said gently. It's about me. It's a real opportunity. It's an opportunity to get stuck in a wicker basket with that Romeo again, he grumbled, turning his back to her and attacking the grill with a spatula. The conflict wasn't just in the diner, it was within her. Her heart was a battlefield with loyalty and fear on one side, and ambition and a flicker of something else, a cautious, tentative hope on the other. The safe ground of her current life was warring with the terrifying, exhilarating pull of the open sky. Chapter 22, The Leap of Faith. The person she needed to talk to most was Tommy. That night, sitting at their small kitchen table, she laid it all out for him, the offer, the money, the regular hours, and the vast, frightening unknown that came with it. Tommy, now a young man with a surprising depth of insight, listened patiently. It's a great opportunity, Mom, he said when she was finished. More money means you wouldn't have to work so hard. Weekends off means you could actually come to one of my basketball games for a change. But I'd be leaving the diner, she said the words, feeling like a betrayal. It's been our home. It's been a job, Tommy corrected her gently. A job you've been great at, but it's not your whole life. You've always told me to take chances, to not be afraid to try something new. Maybe it's time you took your own advice. He was right. She had spent so many years playing it safe, holding on to the stability of the diner for his sake, but he wasn't a little boy anymore. He was building his own life. And maybe it was time for her to do the same. The next day, she walked into the diner with a newfound resolve. She found Zach sitting in the same booth, nursing a cup of coffee as if he'd been waiting there all night. She took a deep breath. Okay, Stratton, she said, sliding into the seat across from him. You've got yourself a business manager, but let's get a few things straight. First, I am your partner, not your doll. Second, I handle the books, the schedules, and the customers. You handle the balloon. And third, she leaned in her eyes, serious. If you ever tell me that I don't understand aerodynamics again, I will personally learn how to fly that balloon just so I can leave you stranded on a mountaintop. A slow, genuine smile spread across Zach's face. Deal, he said, extending his hand. She shook it. The grip was firm, the handshake of an equal. It felt like a promise. Telling Mel was the hardest part. She found him in the storeroom pretending to take inventory, but really just sulking. I'm taking the job, she said simply. He didn't turn around? Fine. See if I care. The place will probably run better without you. I'll stay for 2 more weeks, she offered, to help you find a replacement to get Vera and Jolene up to speed on the ordering. He finally turned his face a crumpled mask of wounded pride. 2 weeks, 2 months, what's the difference? You've made up your mind? You're abandoning a sinking ship. It's not a sinking ship, Mel, she said, her voice softening. It's the strongest it's ever been. You don't need me anymore. I always needed you, he mumbled so quietly she almost didn't hear it. He looked up, his eyes suspiciously bright. Just, don't be a stranger, okay? And if that hotshot pilot gives you any trouble, you tell him he'll have to answer to me? Alice felt a lump form in her throat. She walked over and gave her grumpy, impossible loyal boss a quick, fierce hug. I won't, she promised. Chapter 23, Ampere's New Horizon. Alice's first day on the new job was a study in controlled chaos. The office for Desert Skies Balloon Tours was a small rented corner of an airplane hangar furnished with a card table, 2 folding chairs, and a coffee machine that looked even older than the one at Mel's. Zach, it turned out, was a brilliant pilot but a catastrophically bad administrator. His filing system consisted of a shoebox overflowing with receipts, scribbled IOUs, and booking requests written on cocktail napkins. This, Alice announced, holding up the shoebox, is your first problem. She spent the day transforming the chaos into order. She bought a real filing cabinet, created a spreadsheet for the accounting, and designed a professional-looking booking system. Zach watched her, a look of awe on his face. You're like a superhero, he said. Your superpower is organization.